Hi there. This video is about Amcom's low-risk migration architecture for moving your voice services from premise-based systems into the cloud. In the old world, telcos traditionally delivered one service per network. So every time you ordered a new service, you ordered a new phone line, you got a new line. Maybe you got multiple lines on ISDN. But probably you had a separate fax line, different service for FPOS, maybe a security line. There'd be internet access and other network connections, so that you end up, if you stick your head into any wiring cabinet, you'll find probably quite a few services there that should have been turned off a long time ago. And the carriers like that. It keeps their life simple, one network per service, and they make a lot of money selling all those networks to you. In the new world, our vision is to really converge those services in a single IP network, where all services work across the same network. Now this is about putting everything down the same pipe, but it's not just about sticking everything down the same pipe. You get some benefits from that, but what you also get with these intelligent devices is interoperability, so that, for example, your phone system can click to dial from a corporate database and make a phone call to something else. Your video phone could show you vision from a camera in a remote site, and your computer is linked up to your phone. Your fax could come to you as an email. All of those things start to work together in a seamless manner. So that's really where a converged world will take you. The challenge is how to get there. So our vision is that once you connect to the network, you have access to all of these applications, and what we're highlighting here are communications applications, whether it's your private network, internet access, old-fashioned ISDN trunks, IP trunks, a hosted PBX, or even advanced features like video telephony and speech recognition and contact center, all available as applications in the network. The challenge is for many to make the transition is the risk profile of moving from a premise-based system into one of this new hosted model. So I want to talk to you about that architecture and how very low risk that migration can be. This is a slide describing what a traditional ISDN trunk looks like, and it's what we call a circuit switch network. So the ISDN circuit connects from the physical PBX all the way through to the other end in a single connection. If you break it anywhere along the pathway, then the call is lost. If you move that ISDN into an IP-based service, you can do that by putting a piece of equipment on site that connects to the PBX using ISDN, so that the old PBX doesn't really know that the carrier has changed. It just thinks it's still connected to the old ISDN network. But on the carrier side, we connect it to IP, convert it to IP, and connect it to our intelligent core. That's a high availability core running across multiple cities at better than 99.99% availability over the last many years, so that you've got all of the smarts and all of the resilience benefits of a true telco grade system connecting your phone system to the network. But it goes beyond that. If you've got a true IP PBX, you don't really need ISDN anymore. You can talk native IP between the network and the PBX, so that it certainly saves you some costs on infrastructure and some costs on linkage, and gives you a bunch of resilience benefits. Or you could go to our hosted model, where you don't actually put a PBX on your premise at all, but you rely on the network service to drive your phone system, so that that handset talks directly to the cloud. Now you've got a smart device that doesn't just talk to the public telephone network, but has actually got access to the internet, so you could actually run a browser application on that device to access web-based applications. You can connect it directly to your corporate directory and to other corporate systems. In fact, it has got deep mobile integration potential, and in fact there's nothing stopping it being a video device, so that it could actually connect to video conferencing capability as well. Now we move to the migration architecture. The truth is that not every business is willing to take a deep breath and move its entire business onto a hosted model in one step. Many businesses have got substantial equity or undepreciated capital tied up in big premise-based PBXs. You might be running a contact center, or you might have specific applications that you can't easily move away from. Another issue is that some businesses have got a mix of brands of PBX across their organization, so that even if you had all of one vendor brand here, very likely you've got different firmware versions and very often different hardware versions. So integration across the business can be quite challenging. So what this architecture gives us, and we call this a unifying communications architecture, because all of the devices are connected to the same smart core, I can roll out a consistent set of services across the business. I can provide click-to-dial telephony to a person on an old digital handset, a person connected to a conventional IP PBX, and a person connected to a pure hosted PBX, because the smarts in the core would enable me to do a dip into the corporate database and then create the call to the PC. Even though the dial plan might be different between these physical platforms, we can harmonize a dial plan across a multi-site organization so that everybody uses the same 4-digit or 5-digit extension plan, and so your whole organization has a sense of oneness. In fact, you could also centralize the reception function and roll out a smart application like centralized, a virtual call center across that business without having to take the deep breath and forklift out all of the old ISDN-based systems. They could still sit in there and live out their useful life in the organization, while the organization gets probably 90% of the benefits of an IP telephony deployment, while staying with, in many cases, with the old phone system and giving both a risk-free and a very capital-efficient migration strategy to converged communications. So thanks for your attention, and I hope you got something from the presentation.